What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Robomania, episode 2 of season 3. Good first episode. I enjoyed it. It was pretty long, however. I think it was around 30 minutes. This episode isn't going to be nearly as long, mainly because of the rules from episode 1 that were also thrown in. This is going to be an 8-episode, or an 8-fight episode, I should say, not 8 episodes. 8-fight episode. Just like last episode, there were 8 fights. We got Emergency winning, Coal Miner winning, Spyder, Stinger, Bandit, Raptor, HammerHead, and Chappie. They all moved on from their previous round into the second round, and we are going to have 16 more robots coming head-to-head together in another epic fight. So without further ado, let's jump into our first fight. Alright, let's get things underway with our first fight. It is the 6th overall Biostorm, which is an awesome flipping robot. It has 2 really powerful flippers in the front that can actually come down and also smack the other robot as a really good hammer weapon as well. It's not a super fast robot, and I don't think it could right itself if it's flipped over, but it's a pretty good robot. And Biostorm is going up against the number 13th overall Slasher. Slasher is a robot designed by my girlfriend, created by my girlfriend as well, and it is a spinning disc robot. It has a triangle shaped figure, has some protective little wire above the actual spinning motor itself, so there's a little bit of protection on it. It's not a great robot, but it's going to be interesting to see how this one turns out. Let's get this match starting. 3, 2, 1. Let the match begin. Slasher versus Biostorm, and Biostorm instantly goes over to Slasher and gets it flipped right away. Slasher is instantly flipped over. I don't know how that's going to come out. Oh man, Slasher's just sitting on its back. Biostorm's watching it at this point. I think this is going to be a quick match. Somebody's getting counted out. I believe it's Slasher right now. It has to be Slasher being counted out. And I think this match is already over. It is it. Biostorm easily progresses on to the next round by immobilizing Slasher, flipping it upside down, and moving on into the next round. And going on into our next match, the winner will fight Biostorm, which just won right now, and we got an awesome fight right here. This is the number 3 overall versus the number 14 overall, Double Cut versus Ronin. Number 3, Double Cut, an awesome designed robot. I actually designed it on a stream of mine a little bit ago. Has 2 very powerful axe hammers that come down and smash the robot. It's a very powerful hammer, and it causes a lot of damage, and that's going up against Ronin. Ronin is one of the robots that was in Season 1, and there was a little bit of modification added to it. There is a spinning disc now on top, which doesn't go well against blade hammers like Double Cut. So this is going to be an interesting fight. Let's jump right into it. 3, 2, 1, let the match begin. Double Cut versus Ronin, and this is going to be an interesting fight. Ronin needs to get its spinning blade going like it is right now. It needs to get underneath Double Cut, and it's doing a pretty alright job so far, but Double Cut needs to get that spinning disc out of the way and not let it do any damage. And it looks like Double Cut is actually stuck against a wall right now. Ronin's pushing it up, and it's pointing to the judges right now. It's getting some points from the judges, definitely, for aggression. And then there are a couple good hits from Double Cut. There's another good hit, aiming for the blade now, and then it backs up. It doesn't want to take any more hits. Ronin's trying to get on the attack, stuck on the spinning disc, the wall in the center right now. Both robots seem to be stuck right now. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. I don't think any of them want to fight. The spinning disc in the middle is going to be released in about 5 seconds. So, if both of those robots are still there, it's going to be an interesting fight. Ronin's almost pushing it into the spinning disc, getting very close. Very close, a couple hits onto the spinning blade by Double Cut, and the spinning blade is gone. But can Ronin push Double Cut? And it backs up. It backs up. Couple big hits from Double Cut on Ronin. This match looks over already, and it is. Ronin eliminated. Double Cut progresses on into the next round by destroying Ronin and getting a KO. So we got 2 robots progressing on to the next round for our first actual setup of a fight. We got 3 Double Cut up against Biostorm, which is 6 overall. They both just won in their fights. That is going to be an interesting battle. And our next match from Quadrant B is going to be an interesting fight. We got the 8 versus 9 robot seed. Middleman, which is 8 overall versus 9. D-Sector making its return. We got Middleman, which is yet another design by my girlfriend. I think that's her final design in the first round. So Middleman, it's a pretty decent spinning robot. Very big, very bulky. Has lots of weapons on the front of it. But it is not very good at moving. So we got that one going up against D-Sector making its return from Season 2. D-Sector has had a little bit of a downgrade to actually qualify for this tournament. D-Sector now has the two hammers on both sides still, but it doesn't have any weapons on the front. Instead, it has a ram plate. So we got D-Sector going up against Middleman. This should be a really good fight. Let the match begin. Middleman and D-Sector. Middleman stays in one spot. D-Sector goes to Middleman and instantly goes for that spinning blade. If D-Sector could hit off that spinning blade, this match will be over. D-Sector will win, and there we go. I believe that this match is over already. It also lost a little wedge on the front, but this is going to be an interesting fight. If Middleman can push D-Sector, which I don't believe it can, then this match will be over and Middleman will have the sore end of this battle. There goes the other wedge, and D-Sector is in complete control right now by taking off all 3 real weapons of Middleman. They're both in the corner right now, and D-Sector is just hitting. Both hammers are coming down on the front end of Middleman, and I believe that this match is over yet again. Somebody's getting counted out, but then they both back up. They both get in the way that they want to go and head back in face to face. The ram plate on D-Sector isn't that bad. D-Sector did have a little bit of a downgrade from last season, but it is still a pretty decent robot. D-Sector is still the box green form that it used to be, but now it's not as deadly. It has smaller weapons, but I still think it could cause a lot of damage throughout. There is smoke coming from Middleman, and it's just kind of taking the hits at this point. Yep, they're still taking the hits. The spinning blade has been activated, by the way, 30 seconds ago. And in 30 more seconds, we got the flippers activating, which both robots are sitting upon right now. But there's a big hit from D-Sector onto Middleman. Another big hit. One more hit, and I think it will be over. And it is. D-Sector KOs Middleman and moves on to the next round. Well, there we go. We got D-Sector moving on to the next round and going up against a really difficult robot, the #1 overall Spyder. Spyder is a very awesome flipping robot, going up against D-Sector in a couple episodes from now. And our next match of Heat B, Quadrant B actually, it is going to be Supersonic versus Smasher. A really good fight. 3 versus 14. Supersonic, a very deadly robot. It has 2 very awesome spinning maces on the front of it. It actually could take off and rip apart any item of a robot. So this is the most deadliest robot in my opinion, of taking off wheels and causing damage to exterior shielding or anything like that. And it is going up against number 14 overall Smasher. Yet another robot designed by my girlfriend. It is a pretty alright robot. It's nothing really special. Has 1 big hammer on top that comes hitting down. If it does the right amount of damage, it will be a good robot, but it's going to be a tough match for it going up against Supersonic. 3, 2, 1, let the match begin. Supersonic versus Smasher. Both robots go the opposite way from each other and then collide in the center of the arena. Supersonic's trying to get its weapons up to speed, pushing over Smasher on its back kind of, up against the wall. And that is going to be doing some damage to the lower chassis of Smasher. That's going to be an interesting thing to see happen and see if it'll keep working. Tries to hit it Supersonic with the hammer but misses. And tries once again, still misses, but finally gets a hit. And is doing some damage to the right front side of Supersonic. But back on its back again against the wall, Supersonic is pushing it. And Supersonic isn't known for having a lot of pushing power, but if it's up against the right robot, it will do a lot of damage. And oh, there comes off the hammer of Smasher. Wow, I did not see that coming. Nothing was really spinning. There's parts everywhere, I think from Smasher. So, like I was saying before, Supersonic will tear off any little part of your robot. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see happen. And there comes off another part. I think there was a little protective back on Smasher to make it not flip over when it uses its hammer, but now it's off, and it doesn't even have a hammer, so it really can't do anything. Smasher is smoking as well. This is not looking good. There is a big dent in the front right of Supersonic, so that's going to be interesting if this is to go down to a judge's decision. I don't think it will, though. Supersonic takes a huge hit to Smasher, and there is smoke coming out from both sides into the spinning blade, and I think that's a knockout. That is a knockout. It is indeed. Supersonic pushes Smasher right into the spinning blade for a knockout and destroys it. Supersonic progresses on into the next round. And here it comes. Number 7 versus number 10. We got Dr. Puncture, which is an awesome vertical spinning robot. Very maneuverable, very deadly. The weapon on it is very fast, has 2 axes on both sides, it can cause a lot of damage. Going up against none other than King Hazard 2, returning from Season 2, one of the best robots, the champion of Season 2, losing against the champion's fight, however, but King Hazard is making a return, yet again, had to have a downgrade, however, because of the qualifications. It isn't as fast as it used to be, but it is still a pretty deadly robot. This is going to be an interesting robot to watch throughout the tournament, see how it progresses. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, let the battle begin. We got King Hazard up against Dr. Puncture. King Hazard's kind of taken a side route and let both of the spinning weapons go. This is going to be awesome. King Hazard gets flipped, and there goes both of the spinning blades of Dr. Puncture and take out the motor. Why not? King Hazard's doing some work early on in this fight, hitting Dr. Puncture from the front. The ram plate is still there, but that's all that Dr. Puncture has at this point. Dr. Puncture just needs to flip King Hazard over, and I believe that would do it. But Dr. Puncture is not doing that so far. The front end of Dr. Puncture is also extremely gone. Somebody is getting counted out. I don't think King Hazard's moving. It is just spinning. It needs to move, however. I think it's very difficult for this robot to move since it had to downgrade a little bit in order to work. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch happen. There goes the ram plate of Dr. Puncture. Has no weapon. A couple big hits, and it's over. King Hazard, the returning champion, wins by knockout, progresses on into the next round. And there we have it. King Hazard 2 going on into the next round up against the number 2 overall Raptor. Raptor did not have a good fight in its first round appearance, but going up against a returning champion is always going to be difficult. That's going to be a fun fight to look forward to in the future. And our next match, we got another 8 versus 9 competition going down today. We got Wide Load, the number 8 overall robot, premiered in Season 1. Pretty decent robot, has 4 pokers in the front that do a lot of damage. However, it does have exposed wheels and cannot work upside down. Gonna be an interesting robot to see throughout this tournament. Going up against one of the fan favorite robots from Season 2. Yet again, has to be downgraded to qualify, but it's Where Ya At. Where Ya At 2 has another return. It has 3 flippers instead of 1 from last season. Pretty decent robot. The flippers aren't as powerful as it used to be, but it's still a pretty deadly robot if it starts to flip. Let's get into this match. 3, 2, 1, let the match begin. Where Ya At versus Wide Load, the 2 W's of the tournament. This is going to be an interesting robot. Oh, Wide Load instantly gets flipped by Where Ya At, but can Where Ya At flip it out of the arena? If so, that'll be very, very brutal for Wide Load, and Where Ya At will put a very exclamation point into this tournament start. Nothing's really happening at this point. Where Ya At backs up. I think Wide Load's being counted out. It is not actually. Wide Load was not being counted out, and Where Ya At's going at it again, trying to get under the chassis to flip it out of the arena. Now Wide Load is being counted out, and I think that's going to be it. Wide Load instantly eliminated from the first round. Interesting. I thought Wide Load was going to do pretty good in this tournament, but pretty much the opposite of what I thought. Where Ya At progresses on, immobilizing Wide Load into the next round. Oh, that sets up a very interesting fight for the next round. We got Bandit versus Where Ya At. That's going to be an interesting fight. Bandit is one of the most deadliest robots in this tournament, and if it gets flipped, it's done. It can't work. So if Where Ya At flipped it, that would be one of the biggest upsets so far in this tournament. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been looking forward to this match since the start of the tournament. We got the number 7 versus the number 10, the Penetrator 2 versus Bone Bugger Upper. Now, a heap of games, really awesome YouTuber, go check him out, link will be in the description and everything like that. Banter Wars is a really awesome series that he has going on. It's pretty much like Robomania, but not as good. Nah, just kidding, man. But, we got two of the best robots of his tournament coming in together. The ones he made, I think these are his top favorite robots. He got the Penetrator. It looks a lot like a little wiener, but it's a pretty decent robot, to be honest. It's poker, it does pretty well, and it is very powerful. It's going up against one of the most unique robots that I have yet to see in a tournament itself, Bone Bugger Upper. Now this is a robot that has a double jointed jaw-like action, kind of like a T-Rex, anything with a mouth that chomps down, and it's a very awesome robot to see fight throughout a tournament. So let's jump right into it. My game froze. Alright, 3, 2, 1, let the match begin. Bone Bugger Upper falls from the sky and takes instant hit onto the wheel of the Penetrator. This, like I said, is going to be a pretty interesting fight. We got two of his robots going up against each other. They're randomly selected into the tournament, and then they qualified into the same fight, which I thought was pretty cool. So we got the two heap of gaming robots going up against each other. I think he has two other robots in this tournament as well, but this is going to be one of the best fights, and I think these are my two favorite robots from him. So we got Bone Bugger Upper versus the Penetrator, and as you can see, those jaws from Bone Bugger Upper are trying to get into the right position to get a chomp down, but the Penetrator is too fast, it seems like. We got the Penetrator kind of backing up, and Bone Bugger Upper trying to push forward. It looks stuck a bit, and actually got stuck on the center wall, and it still is stuck on the center wall. It got a really good hit in the first attack, and it got another good hit on the same wheel, actually. Runs right into a wall. And we're going to see how this one turns out. Like I said, I'm pretty interested in this fight just because they're two unique robots. One of them is a dick, but the other one is a very awesome, uniquely designed robot that I don't think I've ever seen. Oh, there's a good hit from Bone Bugger Upper, and there's another good hit from the Penetrator onto the Bone Bugger Upper. And if this one were to go down to a judge's decision, it would be a very close fight, I feel like. There's a lot of damage on the sides of Bone Bugger Upper, but, oh, there's another good hit. Another good hit by the Penetrator. This one is going to be a close fight, I believe, unless something crazy happens with the arena hazards, which can happen at any time. Anytime it can happen. About a minute left in this fight. We got the Penetrator up against the Bone Bugger Upper, and it's a pretty even fight, to be honest. Another good hit from the Bone Bugger Upper onto the right wheel of the Penetrator. But I don't know how this one's going to turn out. The Penetrator is doing a lot of good hits on the chassis of Bone Bugger Upper. They're getting pretty close to the spinning blade in the center. There's some good hits by Bone Bugger Upper. I think I'm biased, though, because I really like Bone Bugger Upper. It's one of my favorite robots that he has designed so far. Both have done a lot of damage, and this is going to be an interesting fight to see. We got about 30 seconds left. Both of the hazards are activated right now. And if any of the robots get close to him, it could be a game-deciding factor. Penetrator flipped over twice from an awesome hit by Bone Bugger Upper. That was awesome to see. But we got 20 seconds left. If Penetrator can do anything to seal the game, flip over Bone Bugger Upper, that would be very good in the judge's decision. We got about 10 seconds left, and it's getting very close to the hazard. And almost hit. Can it get hit by the spinning blade? It does not. 3 seconds left. 2, 1. And the match is over. Wow. Very close fight. This is going to be going down into a judge's decision. The judge's decisions are in, guys. We got a 2-1 vote. 1 for the points of the match. It goes to Bone Bugger Upper. Aggression goes to the Penetrator. And for the amount of damage dealt to the other robot, the winner of this match that will progress on into the next round is the Bone Bugger Upper. That's right, guys. Bone Bugger Upper moves on into the next round. I believe, personally, that why the judges picked that was because there was a lot of damage on the front and the wheels of the penetrator, and only really the sides had a lot of damage for the Bone Bugger Upper. The Bone Bugger Upper also flipped over the penetrator a couple of times, which I think was a deciding factor for the judges. So there we have it. The Bone Bugger Upper moves on into the next round, going up against an underdog that upset the first fight, Chappie. Who's Chappie? Nobody knows who Chappie is, but Chappie won, guys. Bone Bugger Upper up against Chappie in a couple episodes from now. And for our next match, we got number 3 overall against number 14 overall. We got Cyclops, number 3, which is an awesome robot. This is one of my favorite robots that I think I've ever designed. It's a very powerful hammer. It's a spinning hammer type formation going on. It's a very big weapon. I think the bigger the weapon, the crazier of a robot it is. It's a pretty deadly robot, however it does have exposed wheels on the bottom, and the motors are also exposed as well. It is going up against Big Bite. Big Bite is a hammer robot. It's a dual hammer robot. It's like a pincer kind of thing going on. It's not super effective, however it is a good robot overall. Let's get into the match. 3, 2, 1. Let the match begin. We got Cyclops up against Big Bites. They're both going to meet up towards the center, and there goes Cyclops' weapons. However, it cannot reach. There it goes. One huge hit, and Big Bite is already flipped up on its back. And that was what Cyclops is known to do. It can just hit a robot, no matter how much it weighs. It can just knock it over and cause a lot of damage. Cyclops is now on the attack, flipped over Big Bites, which it's a pretty important move. However, he's going in for another hit, and it gets a huge hit down on Big Bite. Big Bite's now taking a couple hits to the motor of the spinning blade on Cyclops, and there goes an item off of somebody. I don't know who that was. I think that was Big Bite. But this match looks one-sided already, and I don't know how this one's going to end. Oh, Cyclops almost flips over frontwise. That's the only downfall for Cyclops. It can flip over pretty easily, and it has to self-right after that. It doesn't have any self-righting mechanisms on it, so that's going to be something you have to watch out for. And now Cyclops seems a little bit stuck on top of the debris from Big Bite, and then it kind of gets away from it, but still underneath. And it just needs to kind of back up and get out of that. It's on the lower left wheel of Cyclops, and it just seems stuck right now. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this match, and Big Bite, as you can see on the bottom of its chassis, it's destroyed. It has a lot of bust marks on it. And there goes Cyclops, goes straight into a wall. I'm not sure what happened there. Almost into the spinning blade. I think Big Bite's being counted out. And I think that will be the end of this match. No, however, it somehow got out of the count and is still in the fight. But Cyclops is trying to clean it up, gets it close to the flipper, and now it's over. Right before the flipper is activated, Cyclops wins this match by knockout by destroying Big Bite. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that fight going on right there. That was a pretty epic episode. We got 8 robots that progressed on into the next round, and we are halfway done with the first round. We got 32 more robots that are going to be clashing together in an epic showdown for the next 2 episodes. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I will see you later. Peace out.